Hi, Scott Orlam of CINEMA-Magazin. The movie is called Bad Times at the Royale, and two of the actors are with us here today, Jon Hamm, Lewis Pullman. I was talking to your colleagues, and I was like, this is one of the hardest interviews I'm ever going to have to do, because anything I say is going to give something away, so you kind of have to like take a step back.
Yeah.
So for you as actors, when you first got the script, how much were you kind of enthralled with the constant turn of events?
I was very much so. It's the story is in itself a page turner. So just reading the script, it was a fun read.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, then when we were in it, like, cool, like that. I wonder what that'll be like. And then to get to work with all these incredibly talented folks, and to be kind of in the movie that people are going to discover Cynthia Erivo and Kaylee Spaney, and like these new people coming out and so good, and they were given so much to do, and they kill with it. This one, I mean, I saw him I saw the movie the first time last night at the premiere, and I was like, just came up to him, I was like, you were amazing. Like it was so, I saw him on the day, but just my part of it. The rest of the whole film is remarkable. So that all of that stuff, the discovery of the story, is so unique. You just don't get that kind of storytelling in especially studio motion pictures anymore. It's complicated, and it's intelligent, and there's like layers upon layers upon layers, and there's wild divergences and twists that you did not see coming.
And Lewis, obviously for you, your father still having a very successful career.
Your father, Dave.
Yeah. Dave
How
Matthews.
much did that kind of lay seeds for you in this career direction?
Wait, sorry, how much does that
I
what?
said, how much, because of the success of what your father has had
Oh, yeah.
in the business, kind of laying seeds for you, or insights into what?
Well, I mean, at first, I definitely was like, I'm going to do this on my own. I don't need your help. And then I was like, I need your help, please, please. And I was like, it's also so ignorant and insanely negligent to have one of the best sources in the room next to you and not be using it. And he's so supportive and wanting to and willing to help me out. And so once I kind of got over that hump of pride, it's smooth sailing, because he's just, I would say unbiasedly one of my favorite actors. I really want to say that I would believe that even if he wasn't my dad. I really look up to him so much. So it's been a cool journey so far.
I have to thank both of you, because now I'm never going to feel safe and secure in a hotel or a motel
Good.
again. Because oh my
That's
God,
good, yeah.
All the listening devices and
Oh my
the
God,
behind the
yeah.
scenes that kind of were going on. Talk a little bit about that. Were you enlightened in some way that these kind of things do exist?
Well, the world we live in, I mean, there's plenty of examples of this kind of stuff happening in the real world. If you want to talk about, people's phones getting hacked and people's things, and Aaron Andrews, and like, there's so much gross behavior that exists around that anyway, that where people's privacy is violated, people's kind of trust is misapprehended. So the idea of it is not new. The unfolding of it and how this exists. There wasn't, in fact, I watched a documentary about it on Netflix or something, but there was a documentary where a guy,
Yes.
that hotel in Colorado or
Yeah,
wherever it
yeah,
was,
yeah.
where some dude had basically this kind of setup.
The voyeur or
The
something.
voyeur, yeah, and it was like the whole thing. So it doesn't not happen. And it's not weird and gross, but the funny thing, there's the line in is this some kind of a pervert hotel?
Yeah.
I think it really is. Like,
Yeah,
it
that's
must be.
exactly what it is.
Just last quick question for you. Growing up, and I know you're from the Midwest, so obviously you probably took road trips. What has been your own most unusual experience of being at a motel?
You got any Montana ones? Probably not.
Not
Just stay
really,
home.
yeah, stay at home.
We used to drive every summer. We would drive from St. Louis to Florida, the very tip of Florida, Key Biscayne, Florida, and it was about a 3-day deal. We'd stop once in like Tennessee, and then the second one like Georgia somewhere, and then the last chunk. And it was a long slog. It was me, my grandmother, and my father, and it was 3 generations in a car for 3 days. The good news was it was a Lincoln Town Car, 1975 Lincoln Town Car, so that I was about 9 feet wide, so I could literally sleep in the back and just chill. The bad news was I was in there with my dad and my grandma, so there was not a lot of conversation happening. But we did have a CB radio, and my dad was a former trucker, so he knew people on the air, and we knew how to like avoid cops and whatnot. So we would always stay in some weird roadside hotel It was always, 3 to a room. I'd sleep with my dad, my grandma would have their own bed. And it was like, none of them were great. You're like, I'm like, it's got a pool, like awesome. Then you go see the pool and you're like, not so awesome.
I mean, I did this thing called Semester at Sea, which is like you go on this vessel and you go across, you go to a bunch of different countries over the span of like 6 months. And I stayed in some wild spots. So you got to just get used to basically just sleeping on like, corn mat and just, it was awesome, but nothing.
You don't need much.
No,
that's,
don't
that's
need
the
much.
End,
Yeah,
that's the end
yeah.
of the game. Like,
Exactly.
You really don't need much.
Kind of just a toilet, really. That's all you
That's
need.
nice. You don't even
That's
need
nice.
that. That's a bonus.
Lewis, thank you so much. This is literally one of the most inventive, fun movies that I've seen in a long time.
Oh, thank
so I
you.
thank you both for that. And this is Scott World. Till next time.